Hello guys, you're watching GRTV. Here to share with you some nice views and make a responding to the comments. Recently I've had some comments suggesting that I'm either out of place, trying to give advice on marriage and certain things and relationships and that I and even money type of advice, that it's really not my strong point. Not in a position to do so, and I'd like to suggest that I am. I've even had comments saying that I'm a high schooler, when it comes to certain types of advice and just different things to that effect. So, and also I've had comments suggesting that why would I quote unquote disown my legal biological parents, things like that. So just want to address all of that. So first of all, I like balanced critique. I like comments that challenge or question my authority on things. The question I ask is, when I see these comments, is whether or not the people actually have a common interest as I, or if they're just trying to troll or provoke me because they don't have any interest. For example, if people like the idea of self-control and independence, then they might be willing to consider the idea that it's better for both parties if people that used to label each other father and son, they label each other friend or perhaps brother, because then there isn't that role of psychological or physical codependency of expectations. That's a burden that should only last for maybe a certain period of time, maybe 25 years instead of a lifetime. And that the role isn't even clear enough. It should instead be referred to as a guardian, just as an example, right? So what I'm thinking, guys, is it's nice grassy knolls and just a good atmosphere over here. I'm glad to be sharing it with you. Canoe club over there. So the idea that I'm not, and people, if they like marriage or not, if people really value the idea of marriage and maybe they've had a hard time or not had the most efficient path or had broken marriages or lost love, and they really want that true authentic love, like I would hope that the people who actually come to my channel that's their interest, and perhaps I should offer a disclaimer that this channel is intended for specific audiences, those who have a desire towards, like I was saying, self-control and marriage and whatnot. And so, how can you exercise self-control if you're labeling somebody a higher authority than yourself? I think my biological parents were, nice, decent people, who tried their best. Certainly not perfect, perhaps not even, how can you be a great parent unless you're well self-developed? I wouldn't say that they were the most self-developed people. So they had issues to work on for themselves. And I don't intend to, have children until I feel that I'm well self-developed and also obviously financially stable as well in my life. But the point being, when you look at people and examine, I can see how people live and mistakes that they make, and statistics suggesting divorce rate, and I look at people's arguments and then how relationships break up after a certain point when because even if they have a strong sexual attraction, what happens is there's so many other people that they might have an attraction to, and so many other people that might even be more like their dream mate, more like somebody who has more commonality with them than the person they're currently with. So it's bound to fail. But point being, that I'm vicariously looking at people and seeing how they live, and I feel like that is viable research, and it positions me as an authority on the subject. And I also have lived through some of it, and I also have lived through some, shall we say, ugly relationship scenarios, like like intimate types of scenarios. I haven't been married. I'm not married, but I still feel like I have a conceptual understanding of the science of efficiently finding the right one. Leaning along the lines of internet dating and looking at somebody's internet profile, social media profile, you find a lot about people fast. And it doesn't require dates, for that matter, no intimate dates especially. I think only intimate dates make sense with the that special someone, the person that you actually want to create memories with, because at the end of the day, that's what it's about, guys. It's actually about, life is about wanting to create memories and not wanting to forget memories by consuming alcohol and other drugs. That's why people do that. So yeah, I appreciate commentary. I feel like if people are gonna say that, oh, you're a high schooler or you're novice or unqualified, do you really need somebody to say that, oh, you have a degree and da 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 in order to speak on matters? I think it's maybe one thing for certain things like architecture or surgery, where it's kind of like it's like rote memory. You have to build up an understanding and a memory of specific concepts. But for more abstract things like philosophy and relationship concepts, I feel like people can be they can actually figure out things as an independent researcher, not under the qualifications or auspices of some university or whatnot. But all that considered, I'm glad for you for taking this walk with me, and I want to give you a little preview of what I'm working on. I'm working on as you know, I'm always working on this book, right? But at this time, I've actually figured out 10 chapters. So my first chapter is going to be an examination, overall overview of human behavior, and analyzing things like marriage and divorces and different statistics that show that where poverty occurs and why, and different things. And so a little introduction to the rest of the books around also health issues. And then I'm going to continue on to chapter 2, marriage and intimacy. Talk about the dream mate, of course. Number 3, spiritual and physical safety and security. So that's going to discuss light work and just simple stuff like breathing and regularly considering what would your dream mate want for you. That sometimes really sets a clear message. Like, it's the same as just imagining if you were actually married already, how would you behave? How would you act? You would act in the interest of that person, right? And the danger is that people in a poor society or whatnot, they have children or get married and engage in, intimacy and what I would describe as luxuries, when the rest of the world is suffering. And I myself, I don't. That's the reason that I don't want to get married right now, is because I don't feel comfortable being intimate. Oh, look, you can see the people on the island there. Right there. I don't feel comfortable while somebody else is suffering around the world. And it's not a question of voluntarily suffering. There are people who, are in America who have health issues and all this stuff, but it's more so because of their choosing or because of their culture or have bad habits. It's not because they have no choice. It's they say that obesity is killing more people than hunger, for example. So that's something to some things to think about. Yeah. So continuing on as a conclusion, what I'll say is, it looks like they had a water main break here, so that's interesting. I won't even be able to walk there. The conclusion, right? That's pretty funny. Welcome to Lanikai, guys. It's one of the nice residences and neighborhoods in Hawaii. So yeah, these are my thoughts. I want good for the world. Want truth. Want authenticity. So let's go there. Let's go to chapter 4. Chapter 4 gets into I don't recall the sequence of all the chapters, but I'm going to do break down everything from gender consciousness, like not getting too close to the opposite gender. And people think it's because I don't like women. It's because I do. I have a real passion towards them, and therefore it's my desire to keep a respectful distance from them in the interest of myself and others, and of course the fact that I'm marriage oriented and whatnot. But I'm going to discuss reincarnation, how to invest in your future incarnation. Going to talk about, obviously, chakra activation, how to build up yourself and not be dependent upon other people to meet your needs, desires, and wants. In that order, by the way, that's an important sequence: needs, desires, and wants. And gonna hit on different culture, what type of culture works. I've been studying socialism and capitalism and trying to get a feel for some type of middle ground. And yeah, that's a good little preview for you guys, but just wanted to express some concerns about why it is that I feel qualified to discuss matters, and let's work together for the better. I want to show you guys this mountain too, right up here. But yeah, thanks for joining me, guys. Aloha.